My name's Steve Henry, Dave Roberts here, helping facilitate today's session. How many people didn't come to the first forum is the easiest way to say it. Welcome, especially to you folk, and good on you and the rest of you for having the courage to come and have another conversation. I'm going to ask the people who came to the first forum, why are we doing this? Just some ideas from the back table, please. Simon Williams, why are we doing it?
Because it's ridiculously important to shape the future that we want.
What we're going to do today, just very briefly, is recap the first forum, just to remind everybody what happened. Continue the conversation about where we are now and where we wish to be, and then begin to think about what actions could be taken to take us in that direction, and then prioritise some of those actions, and if we can, make some decisions. So the way this forum system works, if you remember from the first forum, essentially we have these blobs which represent our forum. Today is an Economic Futures Forum, it has a focus on economics. We're keeping in mind the fact that this is a futures process, and we're after an economic future in yellow there, which is contextualised in our community, which is red in the place, which is blue. We have that in mind. The idea is these forums recommend to the relevant agencies who then lead the community to that shared future. Lovely.
This idea of resilience through diversity came through. Diverse economy, a vibrant, safe community, and a natural environment that's increasing and not decreasing in quality.
What we're interested in doing now, to get the conversation happening at the tables, please, is we're really interested on your big piece of paper in beginning to brainstorm all the ideas you can think of right now which can help us move to that more resilient future.
So is it diversity around some of the core strengths and differences in the district?
We tell quite a good story about the district, and then we kind of said, let's get a little cessation.
After grouping several things together for the ease of doing it, we ended up with education being the top one. Education, integrating sort of learning for local strengths, sustainability education, unique centres of excellence, high-end training, and attracting appropriate people to Queenstown. But also along that we need open minds to ensure that when the changes are made, people are not putting things up as roadblocks for it, and they're accepting of it. Creating a desire to come to Queenstown, continuing to work on our natural beauty, which sometimes can be an Achilles heel because we get lazy. Bringing events here, and the other big thing that we grouped in there was very important to all of us, was the need for a conference centre, preferably in town. And some people, mainly those who don't support rugby, thought that'd be perfect, just like that.
I never saw
that. And our third one was...
Above the rugby field.
That's not a bad option, over the rugby field. Workplace development, the needs for steps to be put into place to retain the middle level positions. Too many lower level, entry level positions, skipping straight to the management level. We need to do something to maintain that middle ground within Queenstown.
Integrated diversity, which we scored the highest, which is basically, it's a range of things from using and leveraging our existing strengths, so looking at complementary enterprises that use our current resources and infrastructure. So if we've got hotels and restaurants and whatever, you're looking at enterprises that might fit them. Using things like local food and whatever, so actually integrating and communicating with each other on that. Innovation, both tourism innovation and just general innovation, asking the question about maybe because we've always come from an innovative past, like bungee jumping and jet boating, why can't we actually be the centre of innovation for New Zealand or the world?
Education. So we were looking at education which goes all the way through, so we weren't targeting a specific, the high-end people or low-end people or whatever. We were saying, how can we have a system that goes from cradle to later life, that we have educational opportunities for all sorts of people right through. Some of those will be for quite elite, single-purpose things, and some of them will be for quite practical and outdoors opportunities. Some of them will be for ordinary people on the street, so that that whole range. What we have as a community collectively through the council to say, have we got land, have we got put together with the construction industry, and there was two options that were well supported. One was for high quality, affordable housing, high density in town, and for the service workers and the people that we rely on to run our, the bottom end of our organisations. And the other part was the perennial conference centre or venue, looking at how can we, there might never be a better time to build a venue like that, was one of the things that we were talking about at our table. And the third thing was really thinking about health and kind of the expertise and the quality of connections we have around the health industry here, and whether there was a specialty that we could really tap into around health. One thought was Silicon Peaks, which would involve enhancement of people. And really that was kind of connected up to the idea that we do have a beautiful place for people to come to, and that sense of being able to become restored and become more healthy, and to tap into a lot of the resources we have here at Health Professionals, or enable people who are high-end health professionals to stay here and look after a small population, because we're attracting others to come in. And then we had quite a few people, quite a few of us spread our last few votes thinly according to our favourite hobby horse.
Great.
Our really biggest one was food production. We were going to encourage food production locally. We recognised that into the future bringing food into the district was going to become more and more expensive, and it's already an issue. And that sort of tied in with ideas about composting and finding a cheaper way of doing composting than the idea, there's $5 million cart mooted, whether there was another way we could do it. Ideas about forestry and sustaining our own construction industry through forestry. Energy was going to become an issue into the future, and how do we produce it more locally? And broadband is always a problem with new people. If you want to attract IT or anyone, broadband's always going to be an issue. Transport, could we make it a car-free Queenstown or not? You wouldn't need to own a car, so public transport is seen as a really good thing, as is the new ferry. Education, local pride, maybe with a card, and diversifying businesses.
To attract the economically advantaged. Education, same sort of theme. Education could be on lots of different levels, whether it's formal or informal styles of education. It also brings in potential international education opportunities, and one of the things maybe that we could do here, obviously we're doing at the moment, is an extension, is to look at wine, outdoors and tourism, business and entrepreneurship as things that we do well, and so maybe they're things that we could offer further education possibilities. But there's obviously many, and as one person said, it was sort of more about support for pathways within this community. So education also includes formal primary and high school, to make sure that they're the best opportunities for young people to go further. If they go away, they can still come back again and be proud about the place that they live in, and feel like they got a good start in life. The concept of urban delight, to preserve, maintain and extend the natural beauty, ecology, environment, because that's a big reason why we all live in this place. That's a big reason why a lot of people come to this place, and it shouldn't ever be left off a list of things that are important to Queenstown.
Filter is basically 3 questions. Does it pass through all of the filters? And then, if it does, then it might be at a future date, perhaps Forum 3, we might take that idea, refine it a bit, and then recommend that to the appropriate decision-making body. So this is a filter to help us with our decision-making, so that we can pass it on to the decision-makers.